Hello.
And here we are. This is us. Welcome, faces.
Spontaneous.
How are we?
Finally.
Very good. Very good. How is everyone?
Yeah, very
well,
good.
thank you.
Good evening, one and all.
Seems like it's been a little while again.
Yeah.
Is that, not to like criticise the writing process or anything. It's it just feels a while since we sat down and done this.
Sounded like a bit of a dig, didn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
Backhanded somewhat.
Yeah, I think it's probably sort of within the standard, the average that we've established over.
It's within standard deviation.
It's like jazz
Good
at this
spread.
point. We don't really have the 2-week schedule anymore, which is like it comes out when it comes out.
Yeah,
I'd be intrigued how many we actually did in the originally set 2 weeks. I'd be well intrigued.
33 episodes, I reckon 4.
Wow.
Wow.
I reckon 8.
I was going to be more generous. Yeah, I was going to say maybe around 8 or 10.
I mean, you can track back the dates on the drive, can't you? We can do
Oh,
that.
we
That
could
can be
do that.
extra content.
Because that's what people like.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Tracking
Patreon.
dates.
£8 a month. Yes, you do get a t-shirt after 6 months.
We have it always staggers me how long we've been doing this. I was telling someone about this not too long ago, and they were like, "Well, oh my god, you've been doing this for like since lockdown," and it's like, "Oh, I think shortly after lockdown." I can't remember the time frame, but it's been like nearly 2-3 years now.
Yeah, 2.5, 2 and a bit years. I think it was like November 21, I reckon.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like, you know.
So yeah.
once you find an audience, you have to
33
give them what
episodes
they
in
want.
that time. It's pretty good going, I think.
We do indeed have a catalogue. Good job, guys.
Yeah,
Good job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're joining us on episode 33, we've got a lot to recap, so spare with us.
Take a seat.
On the last
Uncle
episode.
Philly's got a whiskey, and he's going to tell you all about it.
Gee, Uncle Phil.
Buckle up.
There was the insane years where we could go any direction, and we did, and it went too far, and we were like, let's rein it in. And then we sort of like established seasons in this recent thing where we had Burge, I think, established it, where we went to the Mansion de la Red Passion,
Chateau de Neuf de Pape.
something redfish.
The chateau.
And then we're
We
currently
need like a title card now saying 10 minutes later, and then someone just jumping in saying, and that's why you don't use time travel as a hook.
100%.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, time travel as a hook is like every episode of this like entire thing. Really, we have established like it's been. I think Adam established episode 1, and without time
From
Time
episode
travel.
1.
from episode 1, and
I
then
was like, what this needs?
yeah, well, you know,
time,
it's just
time
these-
travel.
time bullshit.
I think I hinted, like just like quietly hinted at time shenanigans, and then since then,
Just been ran with
Just
ever
fucking
since.
hell.
Yola, I challenge you to not touch time the
I won't.
entire cycle.
I won't. My next one's going to be a serious drama, ITV drama.
sweet Swedish noir.
I'm going
No,
to go more
Crying-
sort of
Get your crying wives' voices out.
sort of femme fatale kind of private detective situation, I think.
No, it's going to be like just a really, really harrowing divorce. Children
Feels lived in.
crying. Yeah, 100%.
Have we lost Burge as a quick aside here?
Oh,
I think we have, but it takes about 10 minutes to
no,
realise.
but
It's
it's a
such a professionally
slow
safe
slow
down.
burn with Burgess.
I've been in and out. I'm trying to sort my internet out. I think it's fine now.
Oh, okay.
If you can hear me, then
Tell your camera.
Yeah, it's just your
It's,
camera.
it's like we found a stock photo of you.
I know,
You
yeah.
just hear your voice over the top.
Burge wasn't available that night, but we've got the perfect face.
Oh, he's
it
fine,
isn't.
he's fine.
It isn't
T-Rex
difficult.
would have nothing on you, matey.
Yeah. So we are, from a recap standpoint, we are currently in the saga where we are sort of like doing funny quantum leap, essentially. We have 2 established characters, James and Adrian. Yes. Yeah.
Took a second.
And then we have...
James
and then they are... well, at one
You
point...
wrote them.
I did write them, and I just completely...
Your characters.
disregarded. Well, you know, like after last episode, I was like, these aren't mine anymore. I've literally washed my hands of them. Like, they can go whenever they want now. Adrian and James. James was the one that was like kind of like, well, so we say straight man in the present, where it was inundated by evil amphibians, and then Adrian was the one traversing the past, trying to rectify the timeline. But
James is the man in the chair.
But yeah, man in the chair. But I think we've in the recent episodes actually, because we established that this new feature where the historical figure comes to the future and swaps bodies with Adrian. I think a lot of the focus has been on James recently, because I think it's just like, I think it's easier just to carry on evil amphibian future than it is to like really delve into like proper history. So just like, yeah, screw having to like actually learn about Napoleon. We'll just do the amphibian shit. We can do what we want there. But yeah, we've had all sorts of historical characters, and it's been all over the place.
It's eccentric in the best of ways. If we're lucky, Netflix will probably pick it up.
They should. Honestly, there is
a
market.
We're in talks. Don't want to say anything about it, but we're in talks.
Yeah. But so we are carrying on. This is actually somewhat the final episode. I'm not sure if we should say that now, but it's the kind of like the...
Yeah, it's a conclusion to this arc with Adrian and James, and hopefully it's sort of a nice ending to their story.
I'm curious to see how much you shut the door, though. I'm very curious to see.
I just want them diving off a cliff, like what was the name of that film?
Yeah,
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah,
they're dead. Me and Adam, we wrote it together. So this is the first time during this, but suddenly, that I've collaborated, and it was a lot of fun, particularly in the pub, laughing about all of our own jokes.
Always a good look.
Yeah. I like the collaboration model. It's fun. I feel like I've collaborated a lot in this But Suddenleap thing, because I think I'm just like, I'll do it with you. Let me share the toys too. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun, like doing the collaboration thing. It's like Ace just being able to bounce off someone. I think is really nice, because otherwise there's this abject fear of like you write it and then you're like, what if they all just collectively hate it when it comes to the read through? But yeah,
I mean, we still have that. It's just there's only three of you.
Yeah.
Some of our reviews posted it can be scathing reviews afterwards. We hold nothing back.
So before we dive in, I should probably say, you guys set up that these two main characters were played by me and Adam, and then we had to write a script where you sent both characters into the past, right? Yeah. So there's a whole lot of us.
That's the thing that I think we've struggled with the most. Is just kind of every few days we'll just send each other a message going like, "It's a lot of us, mate."
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question actually on the process? Yeah. Was it? Do you have many like shared Skype things, or was it mostly you write something, send it on the drive, and kind of?
Yeah, both kind of just went out. Yeah, I guess like different sections.
Like a shared document, or
we had document on Google,
plotted it out, which was very helpful.
Roughly, like you had some stuff down. I came up with some like broad story points, and we've kind of filled in the gaps between us, and then essentially like joined the beginning and the end. Basically, it's worked out quite well.
Very nice.
We knew that it was going to be you two heavy anyway, though. So you can't you have to forgive yourself for that to a certain degree.
We're not complaining about it, Iolo. We're just giving you the pre-warning. To be honest,
one of you're not in it.
So I can just.
We've had to cut two of you.
Yeah, you all got drinks. You all seem comfortably. Let's crack on, shall we?
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, I'm just looking forward to seeing how it pans out. So if we've only got a couple of lines, cool. Yeah, I will watch this show finish. I'm looking forward to it.
We've taken the decision to give you guys some of the scene descriptions. So. Sort of periodically throughout, it would be like it'll just switch between you guys as to who's reading the scene stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good way around it. I like that.
Just give your names in bold above a scene description. Cool. That's on you. Then.
Yeah. Obviously, you do have other characters as well, but
yeah,
obviously it's mainly me and Burge. So
Should we be fun with it? Should we go as dramatic reads as possible for the scene descriptions? Full noir.
There's humour in there, so just.
No, Luke, get back in your box.
Just do what you want.
Yeah. As always, do you?
Yeah. Whatever you want. I'll start us off.
Okay.
With the little recap, and then I think Yola, then it's you to read the scene descriptions first.
Sweet, I'll do that. Should we go into it then? All we need is Luke Williams to give us a nice.
In terms of a recap, just very quickly.
Okay.
Where are we in the story? Because Bird's mentioned something about you both being in the past, and that doesn't ring any bells. It's been 8 weeks.
So I think at the end of the last one, James was being chased by evil amphibians in the guise of like we were in now an Orwellian future because me and Luke's guy was George Orwell.
1984.
And then at the very end, he had the time crystal in his grasp. He was in a room locked with that was about to be barged in by all the evil amphibians we've introduced thus far, and I think snakes, yeah, and I think he just did a Hail Mary and joined Adrian in the past, because the very last shot is James joining Adrian in the swirly-whirly vortex of time, essentially.
Which is where we're going to start off from.
We're going to read from there.
Obviously, I do remember all that, and just being the audience proxy, kind of.
Okay. Sure.
That's your 6th whiskey, Phil, I can tell.
Terrify lizard voice.
Right, Luke Williams, hit me with a sound, please, now. Excellent. Luke's sound game is on point.
I have my own soundboard. Check it out.
Right, should we get into it? Let's do this thing.
Okay, are we ready? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Previously on But Suddenleap. Interior, swirly-whirly time vortex. Adrian continues traversing the time vortex, a bright light steadily closing in on him. James, did they get you? James! Adrian is suddenly struck by an object ramming into his side. Looking over, he sees James, floating alongside him in the portal. James!
Told you it was a bad idea.
Shit. The pair traverse further along the time portal as the light at its end almost fully engulfs them.
Fuck it. Hail Mary, eh?
Fuck yeah. Let's fix this fucking timeline.
Got the author's words.
The pair are engulfed by the light as they both take their but sudden leaps.
That's a gag.
That's the steak thing for the audience. That's the steak thing.
It makes more sense in the context of previously.
The episode 27 for that one.
Okay. But Suddenleap, episode 33, Jesus and Porn, The Wank Before Time, by the Adams Boo.
Beautiful.
Exterior, Edinburgh street scene, 1870s day. Adrian lands within his next historical figure's body without so much as a weird, elongated sound that Burge has to do. Meanwhile, James is taken into someone else's body, but clearly isn't used to the feeling. He stumbles and falls before picking himself up and dusting himself off.
Noob.
Yeah, all right. I haven't been arsing around in history for as long as you.
Oh, something I find really helpful when you first arrive.
Adrian lowers his hand below his waist. James watches with curiosity. Adrian touches his index finger to his thumb in the universal teenage boy sign for free dig. He reaches forward and punches James on the arm.
Noob.
Stop saying that. We're not playing Halo now. Where are we?
Ooh, not so clever now that he doesn't have his little eye life. We're in Edinburgh, mate.
Yeah, I know we're in Edinburgh. Came to see your excruciating stand-up at the Fringe, remember?
Adrian looks embarrassed.
I meant more, when are we? Or where specifically? You know, useful details.
I usually look around for a bit and then just wait for you to tell me.
James shakes his head in despair and then looks around at the many people walking by and the clothes they are wearing. He takes in the scene.
Judging by the complete lack of cars, the architecture and the clothes we and everyone are wearing, I'd say we're in the latter part of the 19th century.
1800s. Yeah.
James takes off a deerstalker hat from his head and then fishes around in his pocket and retrieves, first, a smoking pipe and then a magnifying glass.
Starting to get an idea of who we might be.
Adrian looks back at him blankly.
Elementary, my dear.
Oh my God, you're Sherlock.
Well, no, he's fictional, isn't he? But I must be the inspiration behind Sherlock, which makes you...
Watson?
Oh, so fictional. Christ. How did you figure out anything about your historical figures?
Oh, that funny story. I did the best I could by talking to people while I had this annoyingly arrogant nerd chirping away in my ear.
They're about to continue their argument when an unusually tall nurse with beady eyes runs over to them. She looks between them and then focuses on James.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, sirs. Dr. Bell, you're needed in surgery.
Fuck.
Adrian is loving this.
What's the matter, Dr. Bell? Not worried about performing a little bit of surgery, are you?
Without missing a beat, James slips into character.
Well, one should never be complacent when approaching surgery, dear boy. One should treat every operation with the uppermost care and respect.
Adrian is slightly disappointed that James is clearly a natural at this body hopping. He mutters under his breath.
Dr. Bell and more like.
What's happened to your accent? Dr. Bell, you sound a bit like one of those commoners from the Northwest. I like it.
James looks absolutely terrified, but they follow the nurse as she leads them back to Edinburgh Royal Infirmary. Adrian and James speak in hushed tones.
Couple of questions. How are we meant to rectify history when we're both inside the historical figures?
There's a pause while James considers this. Meanwhile, they are shown inside the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary. Interior, Edinburgh Royal Infirmary, day. A hospital in the 1870s. It doesn't look that different to modern hospitals thanks to the Tories spending no money on the NHS. Boom, boom. The nurse guides them through several corridors towards the surgery room.
Fair point. I don't know. The other question?
Is Arthur Conan Doyle about to be eaten by lizards in the future?
The realisation of this dawns on James. He doesn't immediately respond.
That one was a joke. I'm assuming you had a plan before jumping back here with me.
James pauses before trying to blag.
What? Yeah, of course I have a plan. I'm sure old ACD is absolutely fine in the future.
Interior, King Cobra's domain, back rooms. Adrian, Arthur Conan Doyle, and James, those are Dr. Joseph Bell, standing side by side, surrounded by snake people holding spears snakily. Dr. Joseph Bell puffs on an imaginary pipe.
What the devil is this sorcery?
Elementary, my dear. Fuck! There's fucking snakes everywhere! We're going to be killed by fucking snakes! Interior, Edinburgh Royal Infirmary, day. Back with Adrian and James in the hospital ward, James looks nervous.
They're absolutely fine.
Another nurse bursts through a set of double doors and looks relieved to see James.
Oh, thank God you're here, Dr. Bell. We've got a gentleman in surgery with multiple stab wounds. I basically got into an altercation with a rather unpleasant barn down the Sunsea after a few too many swallies. Anywho, we applied the leeches to stem the blood loss, but we need your expertise to stitch him up.
Right. Well, you can take those leeches off for starters.
Excuse me?
The leeches. Get them off. They can cause hepatitis, malaria, all sorts of stuff.
The nurse looks ruffled.
Begging your pardon, sir. I was just following standard procedure. I wasn't aware of your latest research in this area and haven't heard of hepatitis.
Come on, putting blood-sucking parasites in open wounds. It's obvious, isn't it?
Sorry, sir. I'll get them cleared away immediately.
The nurse sniffles as she works to remove the leeches, clearly upset.
Nice going, Sherlock.
I'm not sure. Anyway, I was right. It's barbaric.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that, does she? And malaria won't be discovered for another decade, idiot.
There's a pause.
Not sure I like this version of you.
Cut two.
Cut two. Nice trade. Interior, King Cobra's domain, dungeon. A typical miserable-looking cell, except more snaky. There's a snake skin peeling off the walls and scales along the floor. Snake stuff. ACD and Dr. Bell are sitting on an uncomfortable reptilian bed. Oh gosh. I've gone into ACD, okay. What the devil is going on here?
Well, let's look at the evidence.
What's the deviling point in that?
We're sat in a cell guarded by snakes who are ambivalent about whether to kill us or cage us, and we have no idea how long they intend to keep us here. So I'd say the point is to occupy the mind with something other than dark thoughts of snake murder.
I suppose that makes a devil of of sense. Interior, Edinburgh Royal Infirmary Operating Theatre. James stands in front of a seriously injured body, punctured with stab wounds. The nurse stands to one side with her arms folded, looking decidedly less friendly than when they arrived.
I've cleared all the leeches as you asked. Any other procedures you'd like me to break? Or are you happy now to do your job, Dr. Bell? Of course, you could keep telling me how to do my job if you'd like.
Sorry, I just enjoyed that. Adrian wears a shit-eating grin.
Do you reckon, Dr. Bell?
James grimaces. He walks over to the tray with medical equipment. It all looks rather barbaric and unclean.
This simply won't do. If I'm to operate, I'll need properly clean equipment.
Oh, so now my equipment is unclean, is it? Maybe we should call all the other high-end mighty surgeons and have a pop at the cleaning staff. Also, it's probably not my place, but just to add, now that the leeches are gone, this gentleman is losing rather a lot of blood.
Oh my God, you got absolutely bollocked. That was great. Anyway, let's not wait around. Get stuck in there.
Interior, King Cobra's domain, dungeon. Dr. Bell stands up and walks from one end of the cell to the other, gesticulating as he works on his theory. Arthur Conan Doyle listens attentively.
My first premise is self-evidentary. We are not in our own bodies. This much can be ascertained by simply looking upon the face of my student, whom I know to be Arthur Conan Doyle, and upon seeing my reflection in this mirror that I carry on my person.
Arthur Conan Doyle stares down at Adrian's hands and turns them over on his lap.
My second premise is thus. We are somehow travelled into some dark and dystopian future. The technology here is superior to our own, and I have read no reports about snake people in our times, no matter how foreign the parts.
You're devilishly clever, but sound not completely absurd.
Remember, my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth, or something.
Arthur Conan Doyle's eyes light up. I say, it's giving me the devil. I see now. The devil of an idea. Devil. You have a pen.
I have a pen. Oi, lads.
Who was that?
There's a brief
Which
pause.
boo was that?
Doesn't matter. It's all joint effort.
Shared responsibility.
There's a brief pause as Arthur Conan Doyle decides to only loosely base his Sherlock character on Dr. Bell, and then they both collapse to the floor. Interior, swirly-whirly time vortex. Adrian and James once again fall through the time vortex. Myriad colours and lights dancing all around them. Think the TARDIS is wormhole in Doctor Who, the Bifrost from Thor, or the tunnel of foreboding that all the teachers pass through before paperwork deadline.
I honestly thought you were going to cut him up.
James looks mortified.
Medical dramas aren't my thing.
True, but even I know that a scalpel isn't going to stitch someone back together again.
He's a fucking know who Arthur Conan Doyle is.
Adrian is about to retort when white light in their time vortex completely overwhelms everything around the pair.
Interior, Grand Conference Hall, America, day. Electricity buzzes in the air of a large open hall. Two large spheres sit ominously atop two poles. There's a general excitement among the gathered crowd, a buzz, if you will. The air crackles with anticipation like electric. A gentrified-looking gent stands on a stage, addressing the masses. And I call it... Suddenly, Tesla jolts as though he's been electrocuted, when in fact, it's just Adrian jumping into his body. Perfectly read.
Wow.
You've been practicing that one word.
Performance of the entire saga.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed. The crowd stares at him in silence for a few minutes before shouting things at him.
Can you say that again in English, please?
I thought you said it was safe.
Then I lose the pronunciation.
I want a refund.
There are just so many consonants in Polish.
The crowd begins filing out the hall while Adrian looks slightly overwhelmed. But then a voice from the back of the crowd shouts over the top of the clamour. It is James, embodying Edison.
Everyone stay where you are. You're about to see something incredible.
He rushes to the stage.
The esteemed gentleman was just teasing you. Isn't that right, Mr. Tesla?
Adrian gets it. He winks at James.
Oh, yeah. That's right, Mr. Peugeot.
Top gag. That's so Adrian.
That's
Keen to get things moving again, James tries to ignore Adrian's stupid comment and starts putting things right in this time period. He gestures to Adrian to pull a lever on the stage.
You're off your fucking nut if you think I'm pulling that.
For Christ's sake, Adrian, do I literally have to do everything?
James pulls the lever on the stage and electricity sparks to life, crackling and dancing between the two large spheres. The crowd gasp in wonder. Meanwhile, Adrian turns his back on the display and faces James.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
I'll give you £10 for the easy bats.
It means I have to clean up your mess as usual.
50.
That's typical James bullshit. You've always been like this ever since we got caught looking at porn.
Those Ishabats are mine! £100!
It wasn't we, was it? And whose idea was it to look at porn in the first place? You're damn right it's always been the same. Whose idea was it to smoke the crystal? Whose idea was it to prance about in other people's bodies?
Mine, but...
And then it fell to me to come up with an actual plan.
I said I'd help.
Only after I pestered you. You're going to leave history as it was. Kaiju frogs be damned.
Come on, I wasn't going to leave them. You have to admit that you laughed at first too.
The clamouring crowd of onlookers is growing quiet, watching this argument play out.
What's going on up there?
Do we have a deal or not?
Perhaps I'm pronouncing it long. Show me the money as you like it.
Then get sweet on that one, Burgess. James looks at Adrian Schofield and shakes his head. He turns to the crowd.
You cannot trust this man or his electricity. Look at this. It's clearly not safe. What you need is to use his Edison's direct current system.
Goes to touch the electricity and feigns pain.
Ooh, ow. Ooh.
Electricity! That's much easier to say. I'm in. £1,000 for the superior American electricity.
My colleagues at the door over there will assist you with your payments. And FYI, you can't buy electricity, but you can buy light bulbs.
Adrian and James suddenly collapse to the floor as they are whisked out of their respective bodies. What on earth happened? That wasn't his voice.
What in tarnation?
You had a big argument on the stage. We couldn't hear it, but we assume you were discussing the merits of electricity and I should blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Mr. Edison won.
What's new?
We, when we were talking in the pub, we pointed out Luke's OTT American South. We were like, I mean, we're gonna want to know more about that character. That's the only line. Like, he's gonna do such a good job that we just gonna wish we'd put more in it. It's true.
Interior swirly whirly time vortex. Adrian and James fall through the vortex. They are purposely trying to face away from each other, but the drag of the vortex keeps drawing them together.
Could you not?
I'm not doing anything.
You floated in my personal space.
Right.
James tries to move away, but ends up moving even faster towards Adrian and colliding with him. Adrian tries to push him away, and then James pushes back. They fly fast through the vortex, pushing and shoving each other pathetically until the great white light absorbs everything once again, and they leap.
Interior, King Cobra's domain, dungeon. The same cell as before. Adrian and James are unconscious before a twitch, then another, and then they both slowly get up from the floor.
What's going on? Where are we? Who are you? Some kind of Roman wizard? Did you send me here? Is this punishment for what I did?
Whoa, relax. So many questions. Just take a breath, my dude.
Jesus, you sound like my mate. Jesus of Nazareth.
The one and only. Wait.
There's a pause as both men assess each other.
Judas?
Jesus! How do you know it was me?
Jesus' attitude changes like the cameras have just stopped rolling, or, as I said in Jesus' times, like the stone tablet engravers have just stopped carving. He looks Judas up and down with scorn.
Very Judas-y energy about you.
I thought you were all about forgiveness. You were literally in the middle of a speech about forgiving those who have wronged you. I assumed you were inferring about me.
Fuck no. That was just in front of those other losers. You're a fucking little pussy. Oh, I'm Judas. No one ever pays me enough attention.
100% not what I sound like.
Oh, I'm Judas. I'm going to rat you out to the Romans and get you crucified. Fucking snitch.
There's an awkward pause before Judas speaks again.
Start every sentence with "Ooh, I'm Judas."
Can't even say sorry about it.
Well, obviously I'm sorry about it. I just assumed you'd forgive me because that's your thing. You give out forgiveness like sweets. Starts to be a bit less over time.
Bloody hell. Which definitely exists, by the way. Same as heaven. Big Pup is up there right now waiting for me.
The two stare around the room awkwardly, avoiding each other's gaze.
This is almost as bad as where we were before.
They both burst out laughing.
I sort of carry it through. Fuck off.
Cut to exterior. Golgotha, ancient Jerusalem, day. Jesus, Judas, and Dismas are each attached to a large wooden crucifix next to one another on a hillside. Jesus and Judas are Adrian and James, respectively.
Well, this is fucking shit.
It hurts so much.
Remember what you were saying before, Jesus. You know about dying in order to forgive all our sins. Be strong, my Lord.
Yep. This is doing nothing for your God complex.
Blood drips down onto Adrian's face from his crown of thorns. He's a little delirious.
God complexion, am I right? Fuck.
What happened?
I just tried to high five you.
There's a profuse amount of blood pouring from the nail in Adrian's right hand. Dismas looks on curiously, clearly noticing the change in Jesus and Judas's behaviour. Adrian gestures to him with his head.
Who's this fuck anyway?
I guess that's Dismas, the good thief.
Clearly not that good of a thief. He's here with us.
Remind me to kill you if we don't die here, which seems likely, by the way. Judas isn't even supposed to be here. Something's going even more skewy with the timeline.
Adrian looks at Dismas.
Not surprised you're dismal. Stuck here with this dreary fuck.
Dismas stifles a chuckle. James is about to respond when Adrian cuts him off.
Look, if we've been sent here, we've been sent for a reason. I've never arrived anywhere without something to change, even if it's arbitrary or obscure at first. You said Judas isn't supposed to be here, so maybe it's that.
Adrian shouts over one of the Roman guards.
Oi, Julius.
Julius Caesar died about 44 years ago.
Yeah, but it's a Roman name. Better than shouting Gardicus Maximus or something.
Gardicus Maximus walks up to Adrian on the hill. We're not supposed to talk with you, lest you radicalize us or convince us to let you go with your smooth Christian words.
I think you've got the wrong man.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
No, not me. Him, Judas.
But he's the one that dubbed you in it. Not being funny, but when we arrested you, you whispered to us that we should take Judas into because he's, and I quote, a big old cunto maxo.
Jesus actually said that.
The guard nods yes.
I think the lads did some light editing on that section of the Bible.
Definitely something weird going on. It's like our mistakes are rippling through time, forward and back.
The guard looks at James curiously.
Don't worry about him, he's just being a maxo. Anyway, I forgive him. I forgive him for all of it. Please let him go.
The guard looks at Adrian and then at James and then back down the hill to his superiors. The thing is, we kind of announced we were crucifying 3 of you today. If we don't, we'll look a little bit like pussies. Know what I mean?
Well, that's fine. You can just crucify...
Adrian spots what he thinks is an old man stealing from one of the onlookers on the bottom of the hill.
That guy. Look, he's stealing right now.
Guardius Maximus whistles down the hill and signals to the two row of the Romans down there to arrest the man. We hear the old man's voice protesting faintly in the distance. But I was grabbing a biscuit for my wife's handbag. You'll rue the day you messed with Guestas! Jesus. Within seconds, James has been helped down from the cross. Adrian looks down at him from above.
See, all sorted. We'll be away any second.
The light in Adrian's eyes fades and his head lolls forward. James' legs buckle, but both bodies are inhabited by their rightful owners once more.
Suck the soul out of every party of it. Oh, back to dying for sins. Yay!
Judas watches Jesus from below. He can't believe his luck that he's free from the crucifixion. He crosses his arms over his crotch and thrusts, suck it. Interior, swirly time vortex. Back to floating within the vortex. James throws his arms up in despair.
You completely ruined my train of thought. I was onto something there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'd prefer to be crucified?
Don't be facetious.
Adrian rolls his eyes.
That another Roman, is it? Here he goes again. Throwing his big brain words around because he thinks it'll catch me out.
Go on. What does it mean then?
It means don't be a bellend when I'm talking about something serious. I should know. Mrs. Mathers told me enough times in food tech.
Right. because pineapple upside down cake has to be taken very seriously.
There's a moment of respite between the two of them as they laugh at the memory from school. But then, just as quickly as the camera arrives, it vanishes.
You wanted to look at porn just as much as I did. You were just as curious about it.
Yeah, but it was me who took the rap, wasn't it? Me who... Never mind.
Well, excuse me for trying to expand our horizons. We both just wanted to see some...
The white light engulfs the pair as they prepare to land in a new time. Cut 2.
Interior at Grand Theatre Hall, night. An opulent American theatre full of the glamorous stars of the silver screen. Also, Kevin Costner is there. The movie stars watch as Kenneth Branagh gives his acceptance speech.
I can't do Irish ones. Oh, hey, Belfast is amazing. What a city. What a place. Lot of memories. Oh, a lot of memories there, so there are.
Amazing. Most of the audience are watching in the usual way, smiling and nodding, but Olivia Colman whispers, trying to get Benedict Cumberbatch's attention. Psst. Cumberbatch tries to ignore her, but she's insistent. Psst. Oi, Cumbo.
Cumbo.
What do you want, Coleman? I don't know what he sounds
Pay your
like.
debts.
What are you talking about?
Don't be ridiculous. You know full well what I'm talking about.
Olivia Colman makes a V shape with her fingers and then makes an obscene tongue gesture through the mirror. Cumberbatch turns to his wife.
I literally have no idea what she's talking about.
Judi Dench leans forward.
Oh, come off it, Cumbo. We know what you did.
Jeremy Renner is somehow inexplicably there. What's this now?
Oh, fuck off, Renner.
Fuck off, Renner. As Renner bows his head in shame and self-pity, Tom Hanks leans towards Benedict Cumberbatch from the row behind.
Oh, jeez. How's Forrest Gump? It's about 2 minutes to get into it. Life like box chocolates. Life like box chocolates. Everyone, no, I'm going to go fucking Morgan Freeman on it. I'm overthinking it now. Everyone knows, even incredibly likable and wholesome movie star legend Tom Hanks, no one's cancelling me, baby. No, shit.
I felt the Tom. No one was talking about cancelling you. I always, when I hear Benedict Cumberbatch, I think Alan Rickman was. I'm just going to do Alan Rickman. No one was talking about cancelling you. Also, it's incredibly annoying when you refer to yourself in third person.
He's not wrong about that, Tom.
Tom Hardy creeps down the stairs from a higher row and he sits on the steps nearby. He's wearing Bane's mask when the Dark Knight Rises.
Did somebody say my name? Have I been called to action?
Take that silly old thing off. That film was 10 years ago, for goodness sake. And we were talking about you anyway. I was trying to explain to Cumber that he still owes me.
Shut it, you old bag. They're just about to get on to Best Actor, and I'm in with a shot in it.
The others snigger at Cumbo's arrogance before settling in to watch Chris Rock addressing them from the stage.
And coming up, we have the award for
Nice.
best. Sorry. Chris Rock's body spasms as Adrian takes control in now a familiar and potentially over-contrived scene. Burge loves it.
Boobs.
The crowd laughs. They'll probably laugh at anything. An awkward hush descends when their host remains still. On the front row, the actor known as Will Smith has risen from his own seat.
Centre of attention again? Oh, it's about you, isn't it?
Adrian comes round in Chris Rock's body.
There he goes again. I never wanted this. We have to fix the timeline. Remember that? Or you?
It was the right thing to do. I'm not going to apologise for being the one thinking about anything other than myself. We were called upon.
Here he goes again, Mr. fucking Martyr. Always giving it the big I am. Why couldn't we have just had a fucking laugh? The world's fucked anyway. Why couldn't we just...
Awkwardly watch porn together in the bedroom with our parents in the next room?
It's only awkward if you're touching. And besides, your mum was fine with me. I mean, she was also fine.
James, in Will Smith's body, is enraged and begins to approach the stage.
Keep my mum's name out your fucking mouth.
Cut to
Interior, King Cobra's domain. Dungeon. The collapsed bodies of Adrian and James begin to stir as the real Will Smith and Chris Rock inhabit them. The surrounding snake guards eye them serpently. The pair are obviously startled by the sight of their new surroundings.
What the hell is this, man? The Fresh Prince don't like this one bit.
Will.
Chris?
Damn white nerd, it does not look good on you. Let me just at the Oscars. Are you playing me? Is this Chris? Is this Men in Black 4? Because I gotta tell you, the last one did you no favors.
Yeah, the writing just wasn't there. There was nothing to do for the supporting cast, but this isn't me, man. I was just sat happily watching you crush it. Then I blanked out, and here we are.
Thank fuck for that. This is hard.
It is.
At least it ain't me, and I appreciate the compliment. That shit is hard. Glad you have my back.
Oh, you know I always will do, man. Come on, we go way back.
Amen. I just want the world to know what good friends we are. Like, nothing would ever come between us.
BFFs forever, man.
Cut to interior Grand Theatre Hall night. James continues his angry march towards the stage, where a bewildered Adrian awaits.
I didn't mean anything by it. I love you, Mum. You know that. I mean, the dreams alone.
Keep my mom's name out your fucking mouth.
James reaches the stage and bounds up the stairs, coming face to face with Adrian. The crowd watches on, mouths agape at this absolutely incredible scene beyond all imagination at a major televised event.
Look, just calm down, mate. Let's talk. We can figure out what we're supposed to do.
James smacks Adrian in the side of the face, sending him backwards. The crowd gasps. The bodies of Chris Rock and Will Smith slump to the floor. A curtain is quickly drawn across the stage. A lone man stands in the crowd. Won't somebody think of the children? Tom Hardy pops up behind him.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
That's so good, Luke. That is so good.
Cut to interior swirly whirly time vortex. The pair hurtle through the swirling white in silent shock.
Well, I've never been slapped in the face before. Almost beheaded, fired upon, but slapped is a new one.
And I've never slapped anyone before. Call it even.
Fuck off. What the hell was that? What's going on with you?
Oh, I don't know, mate. Maybe it's a dystopian future full of muscular amphibians and confusingly cockney gangsters. Maybe it's trying to be the man in the chair for a time-travelling moron. Maybe it's said time-travelling moron taking none of the above seriously and treating this all like a chance for fucking hijinks. Maybe it's me keeping us alive and having to be the sensible one, as bloody always.
This is about the porn again, isn't it?
It's always about the porn.
The ghosts of Adrian and James' past temporal transgressions begin to haunt the swirly whirly time vortex. Historical figures and some relatively unimportant posh English men float past, commenting on the argument, while Adrian and James remain completely oblivious.
Porn? They need to wank them on the beaches, am I right? Anyone? Where's Eisenhower when you need him?
I don't know why that's still such a big deal to you after all these years.
How could you know? You weren't there when you just opened all those sites and left, and then she walked in.
Oh, gosh, right. Sounds like that one scruffy guy let the other nerdy guy ride in the shitter. Hard luck, old pal. Bugger.
To be fair, it was you that kicked me out so that you could, you know. Oh no. Mm-hmm. You don't mean your mum saw you?
He was in carnal relations with his own fist and caught by the woman who birthed him through a vaginal canal. Pitiful creature.
Robert Baratheon.
Oh, dude, that is rough. I had no idea. I don't see what that's got to do with all this, though, and why you fucking decked me.
Oh, well, I'm afraid he was caught with his pants down and he, his penis. I'm talking about his penis.
You wouldn't, would you? You never do. That's the point. You just float through life without consequence. The one time I succumbed to your bullshit, well, it didn't end well for me.
You couldn't finish.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, look at the plain-ass balls on this one, making a joke while his friend's still flying high on rage. I'm into planes. Please find my body. It's 20 miles east of...
Look, I get it. You've got to let it go. We make a good team.
I'm not sure we qualify. I basically keep us alive as we hurtle from one disaster to the next.
See you, Luke.
Okay.
Sorry. From to the next. I opened up pork markets in Beijing. I told people that we import too much cheese, and all I get is ridicule for the lettuce thing. That is a disgrace.
I think you're giving yourself a big old ego wank there, mate. This is a partnership.
Come off it. Name one single time where you...
Guy Fawkes plot, planting the idea of Inception in Chris Nolan's head, Declaration of Independence, invention of the push-up bar.
So a couple of minor ones.
They weren't minor afterwards. That was the point.
Hey, lads!
Who was on the descriptors?
Who was on the descriptors?
Adrian laughs. James can't help but smile.
Thank you. Who was it?
I think it's you, Phil.
Yeah,
It's well, yeah.
it's been a while.
Come on, mate. I might be slower off the mark sometimes, but I put my weight in and get us out of some scrapes. Just today, I stopped you completely destroying a lovely nurse's day and career prospects. Do you have any idea who she turns out to be?
Oh my God, no. Who was she?
No, I've no idea. But you never know. That's the point. You're so wrapped up in the big stuff, you let little things pass you by. That's where I come in. I have my uses, no matter how much you overlook them.
Camilla, something's happened and I appear to be floating through space. Well, good to see the success of my bloodline, and name is a complete and utter nincompoop. Nincom cunt. James relents.
You had me going there. I thought I'd put a trainee Florence Nightingale off nursing for life.
Well, Nightingale would have been in her 50s by the time we...
Shut the fuck up, Adrian.
Oh, looks like they're about to make up. That's to those that make the trains late.
The pair of old friends smile at each other warmly as they continue to sail through the mists of time.
A bit longer than usual, hasn't it? Where do you think we'll end up?
No idea, pal. We'll sort it, though.
Fade to white. Title card. Adrian James never made it home. Adrian and James never made it home. Very nice. Just kidding. Cut 2.
Interior, childhood bedroom, 90s day. It's a cozy attic room, a single bed, wardrobe, desk, and most importantly, a little box TV with an N64 connected. The 13-year-old versions of Adrian and James sit next to each other on the floor holding controllers, looking up the TV. They're playing GoldenEye and having a great time until their heads suddenly loll forward. They present the present-day versions of Adrian and James and inhabit their own younger selves, seamlessly slipping into the GoldenEye sessions with nary a missed PP7. There's no shock from the pair. They know exactly where they are.
Can't believe I let you pick Hot Job.
James grins.
To be fair, you were basically unbeatable at this game.
Just glad we're not playing Mario Kart. You always used to own me at that.
Adrian turns to James with a serious expression. He's about to speak when there's a knock on the door and Adrian's dad appears in the doorway. This absolutely floors Adrian. He runs up and throws his arms around him. Adrian's dad is clearly a little shocked by the sudden rush of affection.
Steady on, son. You almost knocked me down the stairs.
Oh, sorry, I just wasn't sure when you'd be back.
I was just having a cup of tea before I dropped you around at James for the night.
Adrian's dad looks at the N64 and rolls his eyes.
And you said you'd be ready. Come on.
Adrian's dad leaves. Adrian smiles and turns off the Nintendo, standing to leave. He notices that James hasn't moved and is looking ghostly white.
This is it. I remember it. We go back to mine, and that's when we look at, you know what?
Shit, you're right. Wait, you don't think that's what we're here to make sure happens?
You think my mum catching me having my first wank is of cosmic significance?
I mean, look at the path it sets us down.
James sighs begrudgingly.
You're right. Best get it over with then, I guess.
James gets up to leave solemnly. Adrian places a hand on his shoulder, pausing him. He yells out of the bedroom.
Dad, is it alright if James stays here tonight instead?
Adrian's dad's voice echoes up the stairs.
Fine with me, James. Just call home to check, yeah?
James looks at his friend, who is sitting back down, turning on the Nintendo.
What are you doing?
Come on, I'm being odd job this time.
James smiles at his friend and takes the controller, sitting beside Adrian on the floor. The undeniably sick menu music rings out. Finn.
Beautiful. That's really good.
Very, very well done, boys. That was very, very enjoyable.
Thoroughly nice ending.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Very fun read.
Sweet with his dad. Really
very, very enjoyable. Really nice as well. Like really nice.
Yeah,
like,
really good.
Concept of an ending. It was just like them, just sort of like, yeah, fuck it, we'll just grow all together from here. Lovely.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like sort of the story grew back together as the script went along, and kind of there's always those moments where they're getting on and kind of putting a strife aside and just kind of slipping into their James and Adrian-ness. That's very nice.
Very well read. Everybody as well. Super.
Yeah,
super.
yeah.
Thanks. There was a. I love that. I genuinely was like, I have no idea what they're gonna do because I'm so grateful I'm not them doing it because I was like, I have no idea how you'd end this, but the way you did it was perfect in that like I wasn't sure what you were gonna do, and then like the quick snippet historical moments was just like the perfect way of doing it. This is like
some very fun ones.
This is
especially enjoyed Jesus and Judas.
Jesus and Judas' ace, yeah. And the gags in it were fucking quality. Like, Cumbo just is the funniest thing to me. I'm not sure if that's a popular like nickname for Benjamin Cumberbatch, but I've never heard it before. And I was like, Cumbo. But, Yeah, it was ace. Really well done. Good job, guys. That was ace. Really nice
Good.
as well.
Glad you enjoyed
It's
it.
funny, just like when we were talking in the pub, we were like, you know, we'd allocated quite a few people, but not everything, and there were things we were like, oh, who should we have doing this? And it's really funny because you can like, we were kind of like, obviously as an in-joke, Phil, you said you didn't want to get typecast, so
I picked up on that.
Every poncho was Phil.
and then we were like, if someone's going crazy, like shouting, we're like, give it to Yola. He's the one of us that just doesn't care.
You'll just commit whatever.
Yeah. And then
like
Jesus had to be Phil as well. We were like, this is like the turn with that character would be so funny. Phil doing it.
I enjoyed that.
That was great.
Luke's got such a good range as well.
Oh God, yeah!
So
My
good.
God, Luke just comes out with some absolute bangers when he's performing. Like Bane out of nowhere was like, "Holy shit, that's really good!" And then he was like, "Oh, I'll try Alan Rickman," and pulls out a really good Alan Rickman. I'm like, "What the fuck, mate? How you just?"
It was a pretty good placeholder for Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Deep tone. It's pretty good.
And I was like, just like, it's so funny. Like someone's like, "Oh yeah, I've just got like Rickman in my back pocket." I'm just like, I wish I was that guy. Luke,
Just
you
admiring your
just
Bane,
missed
Luke.
us complimenting you, Luke. So good. You're not allowed him anymore. You missed on him.
I
But no, it's
don't
really good.
recall ever having done a Bane impression before. I'm just
Amazing. To think that your opinions on those movies are horseshit, you did a great impression of them.
Do you know who's really hard to do? Chris Rock.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love that. As a
Like
concept.
writing it, I was like, this is.
I tried to channel Chris Rock dogma as much as I could.
Yeah, no, you did really
Then
well.
I remembered I'm not that cool, so
I've done,
least you
I've
didn't,
done my time as African American, so I was really quickly
Yeah.
on that one.
at least you didn't like see like, oh yeah, Dismas or whatever his name was, and I just immediately went Arabic with it. And I was like, holy shit.
honestly,
Just
I
instant.
really enjoyed some of
Really good
your
one, yeah.
roles. They were great. It was like, where is this been?
Yeah, it was fantastic, guys. Well done. Job well done, guys. Excellent.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
definitely.
And really sort of like heartfelt, because honestly, like genuinely, and this is like me paying myself a compliment, like tapping myself on the back, but I had nothing to do with it. I know I introduced these characters, but they are some of the best written characters I think we've ever done, purely because of your portrayal of them made them super easy to write for. Like so easy to write for. Like you could literally just like, just start writing a conversation between James and Adrian, and it was just the flow on it on a page was just hilarious, because you guys have embodied these characters so well. They are some of my favorite characters that we think they cross this entire But Suddenleap. I just love them so much.
Well, now you know, if you want to write a character, just write me and Adam, because it's essentially what those characters were.
No, but
Embodying the character is very generous.
no, it's true though, because it's
Stick to
not
what you
you
know.
guys realistically, because like Adrian was like an idiot. You guys summarized it really well there, like where Adrian was like really sort of like in touch with the minutiae. He was like really sort of like into like, oh yeah, I'm on an island, like a desert island. I'm gonna have a party and have drinks, as opposed to really thinking about like the historical context of where he was. And like, James's personality was like this like constant sort of like worrier, but like this kind of like snark to him. Because I've said this before, my favorite thing in the world, the favorite dynamic that came out of this segment was Burge doing something stupid in the past and Adrian going like, good job, mate. At the start, like right in the present, is just the best. It's the best dynamic. Just having immediate commentary in the background is ace. But
It was like a disembodied Doctor Who, and the companions just left to go.
Yeah, 100%. And just
Really nice.
funny, just like being able to like have this immediate snark at someone's, like it's kind of like the equivalent of like canned laughter or canned applause to a certain extent. It's just like, yeah, like Adrian did something stupid. Let's get James just going, good job, mate. Excellent work. And it's the funniest thing ever. So, I genuinely think that you guys did an excellent job.
Did you think there was enough for you guys to do? Because we were
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah,
concerned
100%.
about it.
I had a right laugh.
No, it was,
I think you divvied it up really, really well. It was nice being able to read the scene descriptors, like whilst you guys sort of performed.
That's what I like.
Yeah, and there's like a sort of a chaos to it that I really enjoyed, where it was like, oh yeah, you're Mussolini now.
I think there's also a very sort of good case for quality over quantity. Getting to read fun lines beats having to necessarily take up a lot of screen time.
100%. Because there is like there's a weird thing with this in particular, is that like, you know, you want to write a really good like episode of a TV show, but there's an element of like, there's a performative element to this that like you have to make it fun for the performance as well. So like definitely. There's like this delicate balance of like, it has to like be cohesive and be nicely written, I think, but also there has to be Mussolini's talking like Super Mario,
silly things to laugh at.
Silly things to laugh at, and oh god, it's great. And I do like, it's a devilish double act in you two. In that, I think I've said it for both of you, is that you're like the little funny things that you say in the scene descriptors for both of you are absolutely phenomenal. So like you two together are like a lethal combo of like funny little jives in the scene descriptors were the greatest thing ever. Just like little snippets.
I think we kind of consciously padded that out quite a bit, actually. We had like, each had like a couple in there, and then it was like, yeah, let's just do more of that.
Yeah, 100%.
It works especially well because we're doing the scene scripts as well, so it kind of gives us
exactly.
to lean into. Yeah, so.
It was a funny moment yesterday as well, like because the big thing going into us meeting up yesterday was like, we need to find a way to get the more lines, and we sat down at the pub. And we did like a sort of control F on the script, and it was like, so Yola, 24 lines, Phil 26, Luke 25, Adam 159. It's like, fucking hell. It's not going to work. Need to do something.
Hello.
Yeah, but imagine how the creators of South Park feel when they're basically writing lines for themselves all the time. You know, Family Guy, it worked really well, and to be honest, if I had to make the choice between doing the more central straight roles and doing the silly voices, I would choose the silly voices every time. It's what I enjoy, and I think that whilst we all are good at many things, what the enjoyment that we find from these things is individual. It's subjective, and I love getting to do stuff like this. It's nice being written for, and your friends actively thinking what will go well for their abilities. It's lovely. I really enjoy it.
Genghis Khan.
Oh, great. So good, mate. Out of nowhere, this evil fucking villain. I was like, we should bring Genghis Khan back as a villain 1,000%.
What did you say, Adam? What was the...
You sound like Robert Baratheon. He sounded like a twang of Northern. He was just really...
Right. I do. I like the impression that I'm like, I go all out. That's I'm happy with that, realistically. But I do think, like, give Luke the impressions. Give Phil like the sort of like the posho sort of like well-to-do.
Phil's good with long pieces of text as well.
100%.
Long, difficult. Like I can do the accents, but I can't maintain them. I really struggle after a while. Phil's got a good. You can keep it going.
But the thing is that when you nail debonair for so long, it's hard to not give you debonair roles. It's like you cunt, you absolute cunts. It's like hard not to give you that. But
it's literally a conversation we had yesterday. It's like just Phil saying cunt is
the best. Honestly, the best. And like I think it was like you fuckwit was like a really regular one that we always had. It was like love it. I do think Phil. So we've established the audience that isn't watching. We've established that Phil's going to take over the next one. And Phil, I do think that the one thing I would be considerate of.
Nope.
Shut your mouth.
No.
You have to give notes, but I might not take them.
No. 100%. I'm going to give you notes, but I'm honestly not even a story or something. But be mindful of that. Burge and Adam have played the main character.
I'm already thinking about that.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's fine. That's all I would want. I wanted to sort of like throw the little like suggestion in there, just because like I really want to like punish. Burge.
Maybe we've got a taste for it now, Yella.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to get away with it. No. You guys have to play snakes eventually.
So we might as well have the most lines.
I was going to say, be mindful that I have no range, so just the same again would be absolutely fine by me.
And like, if you could make anyone else a snake, that'd be great, Phil.
I will miss our silly snakes.
Well, it seems to be. We seem to have like running jokes in this, even though we've not got cohesive things. We have like a pink time crystal, and we have snake people always. Which started with birds making like snake Queen Elizabeth out of nowhere, and now like snake people are just like, yeah, there's always a snake person somewhere.
It's interesting now, though, isn't it? Because it's proper blank canvas now, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
there's nothing that needs resolving.
Yeah, it's a thing.
At what stage was my Star Trek? When was that? Because that had snake people in it, didn't it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not water people. Water people it had.
Yeah,
It was like the
on that one. Jesus. But yeah, it's true actually, because this one I think is the first instance of it finishing with a fin to a degree. So next one is like serious blank canvas for you, Phil. Because so it'd be nice to have like, but suddenly it will be on your side. Cool. Yeah. Hey, so
do you have ideas, Phil? Have you got concepts or
a couple of ideas floating around for like sort of dormant ideas from going back a while, I guess.
Cool.
Especially because I'm not having to like conclude anything or follow anything on. So yeah, it's quite
It's
exciting.
all about. Phil's already told me. It's all about a potato farmer. It's going to be called. It's going to be called But Suddenleap.
Hey.
It's all about like the harshness
But
of like
suddenly.
farming lifestyles.
But Suddenleap.
Suddenleap. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I really like the title card as well. Adrian.
The Adam Booze that made.
Yeah, the Adam Booze. Porn and Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that's that was the title of it. Porn
Jesus and porn.
Jesus and Porn?
which was nice. I was like, what the hell is this going to be
Wonderful
about? And
time.
then like it kind of like made it cohesive. It was nice.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Bye everyone. I think that's good
Thanks.
for us, isn't it?
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for watching.
Nice.
See
Thanks.
you, everyone.
See you boys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.